Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is Cheryl, what she knows. I'm a former bodybuilder and a two-time stroke survivor. Make sure you watch this video all the way through. I want to make sure my video gets pushed out to all the stroke warriors who are looking to heal themselves mentally, spiritually, and physically. My videos are based on my experience, and they are also here to help you have more inspiration in your journey of healing as a stroke survivor. We can do this, guys. We can do it. We made it to the other side. Let's go thrive together.
Hey, y'all, what's up? I want to share something with you about stroke survivors, about what some of them may go through or may experience, and compare it to what I may go through and what I experienced as a two-time stroke survivor. So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Cheryl, and I'm a former bodybuilder and a two-time stroke survivor. And my channel basically is here to assist stroke survivors to become thrivers in order to gain their confidence, their independence, their resilience, and their movement and mobility one step at a time, one movement at a time, one day at a time, okay? So when I want to, I've been coming across a few surveys that I get, like when I come out of therapy, and so I wanted to make a video on some of the things that stroke survivors do. Now, do stroke survivors experience pain? Yes, some of us do. I personally don't, unless I'm putting myself in a position to where it's painful, if that makes sense. So, for example, I've experienced frozen shoulder. So, for example, some positions I'm able to hold my arm or my arm, in terms of lifting it. I can lift it compared to what it was last year, guys, because I couldn't do this a year ago. But what I do, I constantly do the work in order to assist myself. I just don't sit here and say, oh, I can't do that. I can't do it. Now, there are some things I am unable to do, and I work towards doing those every day, all the time. Some of those things are comb my hair, brush my hair, wash my hair. I can bathe myself. I can cook my own food. I can walk. But there are some things I have limited abilities. Now, the outside world will call it a disability, which it is. It is, technically speaking, according to the outside world. But for me, I call it limited abilities. I give myself the name that I have here. I don't allow outside people, outside entities, I guess you want to call them, whatever you want to call them. I don't let them define who I am. I say who I am. I am is the word. I am. That's a powerful statement. So you got to be very careful in what you're saying about yourself and what you identify, because that will become your reality. So certain things I can do. I can raise my arm. This is my effective side, my left side. This is my non-effective side. So you can see the difference. The elbow tends to bend a little bit. It doesn't stay as long, but I can do it, but it's challenging for me to hold it up. Like if I want to do a lateral raise, it's hard because of the frozen shoulder. Now, I don't have subluxation. The x-rays that showed for me last year were kind of like the muscle is deteriorating. Also, a lot of women in their over 40s and 50s, because of the low estrogen, will develop frozen shoulder. They will do that, whether you had a stroke or not. That's going to happen. You're going to have some limited abilities with the stroke. So I do a lot of things in my house that I do to help myself out. For example, I do things like this. This is a PVC pipe, and I stretch it like this, and I just keep climbing. Now, don't force yourself back like that. Keep going, until you're able to stretch your arm. But you can see my other videos where I have things you can do to get that arm moving if it's stiff. But as far as the pain I was talking about, a lot of stroke survivors are paralyzed. You can see them sometimes hold a stroke arm or a stroke hand, and they hold it up like, it's folded. And some people are paralyzed and they really can't move, and they have to go through certain things like stimulation on their arms and their muscles, which I had that in the very beginning when I was in the stroke rehab. And just so you guys know, every stroke is different. Every stroke is different. Everybody recovers different. Everybody mindset is different. So what I want you guys to understand, do stroke survivor have pain? I've seen people and I've heard of people experience they do have pain. They have pain in their hands, their arm, their feet, their leg, and it's very difficult for them to do it. Plus, on top of the pain, they have what's called spasticity, which is it's not a connection to the neurological brain just yet. Neurological part of the brain. And remember, a stroke is trauma to the brain. It's trauma to the brain. It has many effects. It affects your mobility, your movement, your speech, as you can hear sometimes. My speech, I know a lot of people don't hear, but I hear it. I stumble over my words sometimes. Sometimes I'm afraid if I speak, I might spit. Because the stroke also impacted my swallowing. You know, I just don't do it unconsciously like I used to before the stroke. Sometimes, you know, you do develop saliva in the mouth. You just swallow it. Me, I feel like if I do that, I'm going to throw it. So what I do, I save my water bottles, and I usually kind of discharge the saliva in the water bottle, and I throw it away. So I don't like swallowing. I don't like holding it because it's icky to me, and I know it's my own saliva, but I don't like it. So I've been spitting since I had strokes. I've been discharging my saliva in either a cup or a bottle. I've been putting it in the bottles because I personally don't like the way it smells. Now, yes, that's my breath. I'm gonna be honest with you. My daughters in the beginning didn't recognize that. They didn't realize that I had a form of aphasia. Now, some people have aphasia and it's not as severe as others. You know, that's just the case. Some not severe as others. But then there are some that have pain. I don't experience pain, but I am challenged in certain areas in my life, you know, with cognitive things. Like I'm doing a project right now that I've been trying to complete for the past 2 weeks. But guess what? I'm just taking my time, little by little, bit by bit, until I'm able to comprehend it all, until I'm able to complete it. So I'm just going to take my time because it's on my time. I don't have a timeline for nobody. It's on my time. It's because it's my project that I'm trying to complete. But it's definitely something that stroke survivors experience, you know, cognitively, neurologically, strength, mobility, functionality, speech. There's a lot of things that stroke survivors are still struggling with or challenged with, even after post-stroke. I'm 2.5 years post-stroke recovery. And I still have some things, areas that I'm limited with. And trying to complete a task that requires me to use my brain is a challenge for me. It's a challenge. But what I do is I challenge my own self. I do things so that I can improve in that area. For example, I'll read a book or I'll do a task that I know, try to put my own self to a test. You know, in terms of timing myself, I do that. That's just for me. Those are just some of the things that I do. And as far as physically, I put the work in. Now, occasionally, some things still go on with me physically, like, like this. My voice cracks. I will burp or hiccup or kind of gather myself and try to get my voice back together. That happened early on. It's still going on. Sometimes stroke survivors lose their voice. Sometimes stroke survivors, when they're talking, their voice won't project, so it sounds real raspy. I already had a raspy voice. Now it's even more raspier. It's raspier. So the things I'm not unable to do at the moment that I continuously practice on. My hair, I can't comb or wash my hair. My daughter still does that. She does that for me. But I do practice, as you guys have seen in my other videos. I do practice trying to do my hair. I have to try to make sure I maintain it so it doesn't get tangled up, because my hair actually has grown a lot in these past 2.5 years. Physically, I noticed that my affected leg, my affected side, my toes tend to curl up. But I chalked it up to not drinking enough water. but it's starting to curl up again, like this. And I catch that. I cognitively catch that. And when I catch that, I try to straighten my foot out. I'm doing it now. Y'all can't see it. I try to straighten my toes out and do the exercises, especially if I'm sitting down watching TV, or I'm sitting down writing, or I'm sitting down doing whatever I'm doing that I'm not moving my body. Now, they don't curl up or they don't curve under, not up, they don't curve under while I'm walking. Occasionally it does, but just so that y'all, some stroke survivors do experience pain. There are some other things that stroke survivors go through behind the scenes. A lot of time, their challenges are not visible. We're challenged with things that are not visible. Like sometimes let me speak for myself. Sometimes I'm like, damn, come on now, what's going on? Let's go. Or I'll say to myself, all right, you got to work in the area a little bit more. Just keep in mind, guys, I use the fitness as a way of mentally combating things. Fitness, because athletes, I'm a former athlete, have to go to a whole nother state of mind in order to achieve the goals that they want. And I take that route because being a stroke survivor, you can really fall into a funk and be like, what the hell is going on here? Like, what is really going on? Why haven't I? You question everything. Why haven't I moved? We're not looking at the fact that we don't know what the other challenges and struggles that they go through, because a lot of times people don't say that, and they want to deal with it themselves. So I would always say, how did Jamie Foxx, Sharon Stone, and the other he's I believe he's a sprinter or runner. I forget his last name is Johnson. Y'all know what I'm talking about. How did they recover so well? I was discussing that with one of my friends. They said, well, because they have doctors who don't lie to them. They have doctors who provide the help for them and don't tell them that they'll never be able to walk again, or they'll never be able to talk again, or they'll never be able to do something. And they have the money too. They have the finances and the resources and the will. I'm not going to leave that out. But there are some places that they can go to. They can get the proper health and the proper care and the proper wellness for themselves. And they can afford to do that. Unfortunately, you don't want to be in a space or a place. Unfortunately, this is how our system is set up. If you can't afford, or your insurance doesn't cover what's needed, you're going to stay in the system, So I'm like, so if Jamie Foxx had a stroke and he couldn't walk, Sharon Stone had surgery in her brain, she had to go, that's part, hemorrhagic strokes usually have surgery in their brains. Sometimes they get the skull cut. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I had an ischemic stroke, which is a blood clot. There are other types of strokes, which is ischemic stroke, an acute stroke, and hemorrhagic stroke. And of course, some strokes are more severe than others. For example, if you're looking at it from a scale point, hemorrhagic strokes is a very small percentage of people that recover from that. Very small. So if you made it, so may it be. And strokes are bad, period. It ain't no one higher than the other. Are some a little bit more severe than others? Yes, it is. And also, the damage that's done by it has a lot to do with you prior to you having the strokes, your lifestyle, whether it's wellness, whether it was stress, whether you ate right, whether you didn't eat right. I'm going to speak for myself because I was a bodybuilder and I did eat clean. I did all those things. I did all other things. But I also had some other things involved. Stress from my family. My mother passed away. 2 brothers passed away. My stepdad passed away, and on top of that, I was emotionally eating. And because I was emotionally eating processed foods. And those things took a toll on my body. The job that I had, it took a toll on my body. And I believe it contributed to me having a stroke as well, too. So your lifestyle, even though I was a bodybuilder, I still had my vices. My vices were chips, junk food, Dr. Pepper, all that stuff. It got to me. Over time, it'll get to you. And by that time, I was doing it consistently because I was emotionally eating. It was emotionally eating. And so I was talking to one of my friends. They said, girl, if you don't leave them chips alone, that's going to be the death of you. And it damn near was. It damn near was. Because to be honest with you, as a stroke survivor, we could have died, y'all. We could have died, but we're still here. So I just want to share. With you guys, just a little insight. Do stroke survivors experience pain? Some of them do. Some of them don't. I've never experienced pain as a result of the stroke. I experienced discomfort and pain and limited mobilities because of me being in menopause, perimenopause, which was frozen shoulder. So that's part of it. So you guys make sure you take care of yourself. You make sure that you engage, like, and save and share the post. And make sure, if you're watching this from my YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel, comment. Let me know in the comments, do you experience pain or is it just discomfort? Okay? Let me know in the comments. I'll see you guys. Talk to you on the side.